Yes, in principle, credit creation is neutral. It does depend on what the money is used for, and it can give us very positive but also very negative results. And if banks, by creating credit, give entrepreneurs the opportunity to implement new ideas, new technologies that have higher value than the cost of the inputs on their own, then we have created value here. This also means that there shouldn't be inflation, because you have more money through bank credit, money is created, the money supply expands when banks create credit.
Right.
But at the same time, there's also more goods and services, and therefore there's no reason why there should be inflation. So this is the desirable state of affairs, this is the desirable type of bank credit, productive credit creation. But unfortunately, there's also other types. You can see immediately if banks create credit for consumption, and because banks are not just financial intermediaries, they actually, when they give out what's called a loan, they actually create new money. But this is for consumption, the consumer loan. This means we've got more money now in the system, but the same amount of goods and services, everything else being equal.
Right.
So, of course, more money is now chasing the same amount of goods and services. There will be greater demand that will push up prices, will get inflation. This is, of course, what most people immediately think of, when we talk about credit creation or money creation, think, oh, inflation?
Right.
And potentially, yes, but it does depend what the money is used for. And for basically for consumption, it's very clear it will lead to some kind of consumer price or retail price inflation.
Okay.
When banks create credit and they lend this money now to speculators who use the money for financial transactions, asset transactions, what you have is money creation, new money being injected in particular markets, say the stock market or particular derivative markets or the property market. And again, it's a very simple calculation. This has to push up prices in those markets. You will get asset inflation, what is normally called a financial boom, a financial bubble. If more and more banks keep doing it, you will get a financial bubble. That's very destructive. Basically, the rule is only credit creation for productive purposes.
Right.
In the when banks create credit for the investment in the creation of new goods and services, only that is sustainable, and also that's what enables income streams to service the loans and repay them, because when you've got productive investment, that generates its own income stream.
Right.
But if you lend for consumption, then the credit creation has not triggered any any income stream that's now helping to repay that loan.
Right.
And the same is true for asset markets. Now, if the asset for financial credit creation, it will look initially as if this is going to work, and everyone is quite happy about it, because by pushing up asset prices, everyone is making more money. The speculators are making money. The banks think, oh, their deals are paying off, so this is quite a safe loan. They may do some more, but because you're pushing up asset prices, it's a sign that it's unsustainable. While banks continue to expand credit for speculation, they will continue to raise asset prices. And while that is taking place, it looks sustainable, but it's not.
Okay. Right.
Because it's dependent on banks continually increasing credit for financial speculation. The moment, for some reason, banks slow or stop this, and this is, of course, what happened in the banking crisis, there can be various triggers that stop this. Asset prices come down, speculators go bust, banks have non-performing loans, and you will get a financial crisis. We're often told, well, the markets will take care of this, but I think it should be obvious to everyone by now that markets don't deliver the optimal outcome. Quite the contrary, actually. When you look at it from a bank's perspective, the bank will generate bigger profits and bigger bonuses in the short run. Many people are also skeptical, can intervention work? And it has worked, it has been done very successfully by the East Asian miracle economies, if you want to call them that, Japan, China, and so on. And also we mustn't forget that actually this credit allocation is constantly taking place. It's the bank managers that do this allocation of credit, and they only think of the bank's interests in the short run. If we tell them, well, look, you must, if you want to keep your job, for example, look at what's good for the economy and therefore cut out the bad credit for loans for speculation or an undue emphasis on consumer loans. If we give bank managers an incentive to lend for productive purposes, we will get a better economic outcome. So it's quite easy for intervention in this area to be very successful and have very positive